Greetings everyone, welcome to Advance. This game was played in the title Tuesday that was held on 2nd September, and there has been a lot of changes in the title Tuesday. You have to now actually go for a proctor if you want to play title Tuesday, so that is also a nice inclusion so that there would be no cheating. And here with the white pieces we have Alexey Sarana playing against Magnus Carlsen. So this game is going to be an epic one, so without further ado, let's start with this game. Alexey starts with d4, we have d5 by Magnus, c4, e6 and just knight to c3. Going to the queen's gambit decline, we have knight to f6, bishop to g5 and just d captures. So just the modern variation, and we have e3, c5 and bishop captures, c captures, e captures, knight to c6, knight to f3. So nothing new. All of those things just still in the picture, just preparing to castle as well. Bishop to e7, both players castles, rook to e1 and just h6, pushing the bishop back, bishop to h4 and just p6 now, trying to fiend out the other bishop because this bishop would be very strong on this diagonal. We have queen to d3 now, bishop to b7, rook a d1, knight to b3 attacking the queen, and queen moves back. Magnus played this game really perfectly. Really perfectly up until a point where he got really low on time, and after that it was just it was just, well, I'll show you. And knight to d5 was played, queen to d3 again, and rook to c8, bishop to b3, knight to f4 attacking the queen, and now just going for queen to e3, and now knight 6 to d5, and now you can see that these both knights are wreaking havoc here and attacking and covering a lot of white's territory, and Alexey has to be very much careful. Either you trade now, or otherwise you can, technically speaking, resign here. But yeah, knight captures, we have knight captures, bishop captures, and just bishop captures. We have bishop captures on e7, just trading everything and just going for a draw. But well, Magnus is not going to let a draw happen in this position, because this bishop, as you see, as compared to this knight, is very strong, and you cannot even get rid of this bishop. And if you're thinking about centralizing the knight against that bishop, it's not going to work out. Rook to c2 was played by Magnus, and here rook to d2. Well, it's a nice move, because you have to understand that either you trade or either you lose the pawn. Once you lose the pawn, the game is completely winning for Magnus, and Magnus can convert even a +1 position to win. So here rook f to c8 now. Those rooks are looking really nice. Queen can jump into the game somewhere along the line, and yeah, this position is just, with the isolated pawn, it's a difficult position to hold. You have 3 pawn islands and black has 2, and seems like it's like a draw. Most likely it is, but again, you have to really be careful against Magnus here. With a move like rook caps on c2, it makes sense, because after rook captures you play b4, and after a move like a5 you play b5, rook to b2, and maybe there could be some chances, because you can, if you play a move like a4, you have to understand both of your pawns are on light squares. You have a light square bishop. How do you even defend them? There is no counterplay happening against the queen side. Your rook is on a very bad file, and yeah, it's just a very difficult position to hold for Alexey. Even if you go for rook captures, rook captures is absolutely fine, but then again, other than b4, I don't know what you could even play in this position. If you go for this, then you have some back rank issues. This is not a position you would want to face against Magnus. But after rook f to c8, knight to e5 was played by Alexey, and it is not a good move, let's just say that, because queen to g5, and now you can see that there are mating threats. The bishop becomes much more strong, and you wanted your knight centralized, but you didn't want it at the expense of the bishop becoming strong and the queen can get into the game. So you did it just by one move. That's why it's not a good move. f4 now, just defending at the same time and also just attacking the queen. We have queen to f5, rook de2, and now just f6, just pushing the knight back. And where do you even move the knight? Knight to f3 was played, but after this king to f7, your position is, you can just understand black's position is, black is really good in this position. You whatever you do, you can see that those rooks are just defending each other. Queen is defending the c2 square. All of your pieces are crumbled in together. Bishop is so strong. Queen is on f5. King is safe, while your king on the other hand is not looking that safe. And here h3 was played, just making some breathing room for the king. But with a move like rook caps on e2, rook captures, and bishop to c4, you're still doing very fine in this position. But after rook to e1, you play bishop to d5, and maybe just get the rook into the game. Just try and threaten mate. Maybe just go back with the queen and try to threaten mate that way. With the bishop being so strong, your position is going to be absolutely amazing. And I think Magnus would have definitely converted this to a win. But here after h3, Magnus goes for h5, and h5 just brings Alexey back into the game, and he would be very grateful for this move, because here just knight to h4 was played by Alexey. Immediately we have rook caps on e2, rook captures, and just queen to b1 check, king to h2, and queen to c1. Magnus made the mistake of thinking that instead of going for positional chess and trying to just keep on building the pressure until Alexey's position or Alexey would have cracked, he instead went for a trade and thought that queen and the rook are infiltrating and his position is very good and his king is absolutely safe. But is that the case after h5? I mean, you've already pushed the pawn a bit too far, and if you are thinking that after all these trades and you can get the rook into the game and maybe just hope for some sort of checkmate, it's not going to happen, because here just king to h2 was played by Alexei. We have queen to c1, queen to g3, and now there are some troubles in this position because you have those weak light squares here. And how do you stop that infiltration? You cannot. Queen to d1 was played, trying to go for this, but again you have to understand this very fact that if I deliver this check, king goes here. I mean, I'm just going to show you, because here queen to g6 check was played, and now just queen caps on h5, and you can see there are a lot of tactics in this position. If somewhere along the line you play a move like king to e7, just rook captures, and I just pick up your queen very amazingly. So you have to be very careful with a move like king to g8. This is the only move in this position that saves the game. Other than this, no move works, because hey, knight to g6 now, if you try to go for this, you have a very nice defensive resource, which is this rook to e8. Yes, it feels like you're putting the rook under queen's fire, but here just queen to h8 check. Even if you go for this king to f7, most likely you're going to have to settle for perpetual, and that's would have been game. But here, after queen caps on h5, Magnus thought that there was something in this position, and Magnus played a rook to c1, and it's really a really terrible blunder by Magnus, because now all of these ideas becomes a reality. We have knight to g6 check, king to e8, and now just f5, and this f5 is a beautiful find by Alexey. And yeah, you're not surviving this game. I mean, your king is very weak, first of all, and there is nothing you can do. Here, king to d8 was played, but just f captures on e6, bishop captures, and now just going for that check. King to c7, just rook captures, and now you've lost a piece. There is no checks in this position. I mean, you can go back, but after that there is no checks. What do you even do? Hey, king to b7 was played, queen caps on g7 with the check, king to a6. Your king has walked all the way over here towards a6, and now I mean, that just shows you enough about your position that you're just completely losing. Rook to e7 now, just trying to go for that pawn. King to b5 was tried, queen caps on f6, queen to g1 check, and now just king to g3 was played, rook to f1 to try and do something, but just queen to e5 check, and here king to a4 was played. But after queen to e3, it was on this move, on move 44, that Magnus Carlsen resigned the game, and this is the only loss he suffered in the title Tuesday that was held on 2nd September. He got the 5th position. Otherwise, if he had won this game, I think he would have gotten 3rd or 2nd position. But yeah, this loss was really brutal. And yeah, Alexey played a spectacular game. I mean, why he resigned is completely, I mean, obvious here. Complete piece up, your pawn up, and yeah, the position is just really not favoring Magnus, because Magnus made that blunder, and yeah, Alexey really came out on top. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with games like these, so stay updated to the channel, stay so you don't miss such amazing games that I've been covering. And yeah, I'll be seeing you guys very soon. Thank you all for watching.